Hi, it's Dr. Ernesto, and I'm here in Altamira, Guatemala. And look at this killer view over here. There's a bunch of these different, like, hands and statues and stuff that are hanging out over the mountain. They're platforms. You can walk out on them and stand on them, and you're suspended over in the air. You see some more there in the background. There's like dozens of them here. And the view is killer. I'm kind of like standing on a man. See that to the face over there? That's pretty cool. I'm here with my friend Barkley. He's touring me around. What's up, Barkley? And this place is really cool. It's here in Altamira, Guatemala. And I'd recommend coming early in the morning, so there's like nobody here. It's early in the morning and I wanted to come on and see what used to be a rainforest, cloud forest. There's still quite a bit of forest here, but a lot of it's been deforested to grow coffee and for people to live on, and grow livestock. But you can still see all the beautiful mountains and the volcanoes that are around here. ¿Cómo se llama este? ¿Elote de qué? Se mira diferente, se mira como un corn dog. Y este se llama, es un tamal de frijol con qué? Pero tiene como una hierba adentro. Chipilín. Ok. Y este es de pollos. Oh, le ponen salsa roja. Oh, cool. Ok. ¿Está bueno? Sí, mira, te miras feliz. Y tiene como curtido. Ah, ok. ¿Cómo se llama ese? Oh, ese es el enchilada. ¿Ah? Chile. Ah, ok. Okay. So this is the Mercado Central here in Guatemala. Este es el Mercado Central en Guatemala. Y voy aquí a los comedores a comprar comida. I'm going down to the kitchens to buy some traditional Guatemalan food. And I just kind of ended up here in Guatemala because they had these cheap tickets because they're having a lot of protests here right now. It's a good place to come. Me vine para acá porque hay mucho protestas ahorita en Guatemala, so los boletos están muy baratos. Y hola. All right. Comida chapina.
Caldo de res, caldo de gallina, caldo de pata, caldo de marisco, pepián,
All right. Oh, yeah. Comida chapín. Guatemalan food. Oh, ¿es chile relleno?
Sí. Chile rellenos, amor. Ahí hay chile rellenos, hay pacayas, hay carne guisada.
Me gusta. All right. Oh, y tienen calabaza, huh? Look at it. They have like fried bananas here and all these fresh vegetables. Chile rellenos, potato salad. It's Corazón de Jesús.
Reina, sandía, papaya,
This is the Iglesia Metropolitana here in the center of Guatemala. Esta es la Plaza de la Constitución y la Iglesia Metropolitana. Aquí está el Palacio Nacional, the National Palace here. This is where they've been having all the protests. And they decided to take a day off today. They've been tearing everything up around the city. They're upset because of high inflation prices. That, you know, the presidents, the governments, they basically have no control over it. It has everything to do with the war in Russia. La gente andan protestando, enojados porque dice que el gobierno está robando todo y los precios están subiendo, pero claramente ellos no tienen nada que ver con eso. Es por la guerra en Ucrania y Rusia que está subiendo todos los precios y por eso está subiendo el petróleo, la comida. Y en casi todos los países que he oído este año, latinos, Panamá, Ecuador, Colombia, etc., le ponen la culpa al gobierno, empiezan a protestar y dañar cosas. Pero obviamente el gobierno no tiene nada que ver con él, es por la guerra, porque Rusia es el número uno productor de petróleo en el mundo y por eso no Está subiendo todos los precios. So because of the war in Russia, all the prices are going up. And people are really upset. So that's causing like all these issues with protests and everything. Esta es la Iglesia Metropolitana de Santiago de Guatemala. This is in the center here of Guatemala City. Aquí en el centro de Guatemala. Es el Cathedral principal aquí de la ciudad. Now this is the mapa relieve or the relief map. This is la mapa relieve. And it's basically a map built to scale of the country of Guatemala. You can see all the mountains, you see the oceans, the lakes, and it has the borders here. Es una mapa que han hecho que enseña todas las partes de Guatemala. Las fronteras, los mares, los ríos, mucha montaña. Se mira ahí donde están sacando petróleo. That's where they get the oil out. And they have all the cities of the indigenous towns in the mountains. Todas las ciudades de los indígenas. Allá está un grupo de volcanes. These are all volcanoes here. A lot of volcanoes here. It's part of the Ring of Fire, Guatemala. Esa es parte del anillo de lumbre que pasa, donde está en una falla tectónica y sale ahí mucho volcanes y lava. Y ahí vas a mirar que todo acá está plano. You can see this is all flat over here. And over here it's all mountainous because this is a part that's attached to the plate tectonic plate that's moving. And that's why you have a whole ridge here, or straight line of volcanoes. That's where the plate must be. And then you have the ocean out there. So, aquí se pueden mirar todas las montañas que se han formado por el plato tectónico. Y entonces aquí llegas a una línea de volcanes. Eso que decía es que ahí es donde está la falla. Y se pueden mirar todos los detalles del país. Aquí están los puertos. Puertos al mar. Ahí está el mar acá. Mar Pacífico. There's the Pacific Ocean over here. And all the ports. You see the port cities here. Again, this is Parque Relieve. This is the baseball stadium. Diamante Enrique Trapo Torrebiarte here in Guatemala. Aquí está el estadio de Guatemala donde juegan béisbol. Y los asientos son interesantes, cómodos, te sientas aquí. Muy bueno. Nice seats. This is like the VIP section. This is la sección costosa. Tienes una silla, se dobla. These are like they have folding chairs here, and then or you sit up here in the bleachers. I wanted to see a baseball game, but all the games are canceled because of the protesting. So quería mirar un juego de béisbol, pero no puedo porque cancelaron todos los juegos por las protestas. Eso se mira como que retiraron un número ahí. 17 debe ser el mejor Jugador en país. It said that they have one retired number there, number 17. So this is the Cerrito del Carmen. There's this church overlooking the city here. Este es el Cerrito del Carmen, con esta bonita iglesia, mirando la ciudad. It's right here, like in the central part of Guatemala. And it has a real nice park all around it with gardens. And it's like a hill, and this beautiful church is at the top of it. And the park is spiraling all around the base of this mountain. So es esta bonita iglesia arriba de un lomo, una loma. Y está arriba de como un pico. Y todo alrededor tiene un jardín muy bonito, bajando por todo el parque. Es muy bonito, es muy tranquilo, muchas plantas, mucha gente aquí. This is the Museo Miraflores. All the museums here are pretty fancy. The architecture is stunning, but they don't have a lot of exhibits yet. It seems like their museums are pretty new and modern, but they're still working on building up the exhibits. Let's go over three of the most important things when it comes to Guatemala: transportation, hotels, and food. In terms of transportation, it's very easy to get there from the United States. I sometimes find tickets for $79 one way. And I'll fly over there, and then from there, it's a hub. I can go anywhere in South America or Central America easily and very inexpensively. Round trip tickets, I can get them for 150 bucks. But you can go there for a weekend and just hang out. I remember one time I was backpacking with my friend Mike McClure and James to Central America, and we were in Antigua, and it was a real big bowl game, college football. USC was playing, and I met a couple that went on a blind date, which was really awesome. The guy invited the girl on a blind date, told her, "Hey, why don't we go out of town for the weekend?" And she's like, "Sure." I think they only spoke to her on the phone, and they flew to Antigua, and they're there for the 3 days. And we met them in a bar watching the game, and the girl went to USC, so they went to the only bar in town that had the game on, and that's how we met. So transportation wise, it's easy to get. If you're alone traveling inside of Guatemala, buses are the easiest, and Ubers inside the capital of Guatemala City. Just because there's a lot of traffic in the city, it's a pain to drive. And going outside of the city, especially if you're going to Tikal, it's about 12 hours, and there's a lot of dirt roads if you're going up to Tikal. So it's pretty far, especially Tikal. I would recommend taking the bus because I've driven up there and I've gotten stuck in the mud. One time I lost my hubcaps in the mud, and the car rental agency charged me for them. So I wouldn't recommend driving over there unless you had a group of two or more. Even if you have two or more, to call might be better on the bus. It's just more comfortable. Roads are not real safe. There's a lot of drunk drivers, and it rains a lot. So there's mudslides, there's muddy roads. It's easier to go, it's basically a 24-hour drive there and back from the capital. It's pretty far. Inside the city, if you got two or more people, you can drive around. You can rent a car. It's pretty inexpensive. Okay, you can just use your credit card. You don't have to buy the extra insurance. In terms of airfare, well, because of reverse migration and all the people that are getting deported from the United States, the airfares, again, are pretty cheap to Guatemala. And again, it is the largest population outside of Guatemala. So California and some of the other states, you can get tickets pretty inexpensive to Guatemala. Hotels, there's the best option there is definitely short-term rentals like Booking.com, Airbnb, VRBO. I checked out hotels and they were pretty expensive. I rented some. They were not real good, low quality. One had a lot of roaches in it. For about 30% less, I rented condos with a pool, shared gym, in real nice neighborhoods. So there's an oversupply of short-term rentals in Guatemala and an undersupply of hotels. And you can see that when you travel around because you'll see the prices are not proportionate. For example, Los Angeles, where I live, the Airbnbs or many parts of the United States, because of all the restrictions, Airbnbs are oftentimes more expensive than hotels in the United States because there are restrictions and there aren't very many. And a lot of people like Airbnbs. You can have parties. There's more flexibility. You have more privacy. You have a kitchen. You have a laundry. There's a lot of things that you don't get that people are looking for. Yard. If you have pets, you won't be able to do a lot of that stuff in a hotel. If you go to Guatemala or some other countries, you'll see that there's no restriction in Airbnbs and the prices are way cheaper than hotels and you get way more for your money. You're usually in the best areas of town. And again, you have laundry, you have access to pools, gyms. It's just a lot better. And then you have more privacy. You have a kitchen. It's just a lot more better, a lot more comfortable, especially if you're going in a group. Food, food is very inexpensive in Guatemala. There isn't a lot of variety. It's a high indigenous population. So there's not very much migration into Guatemala, which is good because it's retained a lot of its culture. You can eat a lot of traditional Native American foods. Beans, veggies are very inexpensive. Other than that, you're going to find a lot of poor quality American fast food restaurants because of reverse migration. A lot of Guatemalans, when they travel to the United States, they work in the service industry, predominantly construction. Construction, because I do construction, I've seen that a lot of these guys, they're in a hurry. The foreman's in a hurry. They don't put a lot of emphasis on quality. They'll just go out and buy some bags of French fries and hamburgers with a Coke for everybody. They'll buy the cheapest stuff like Chinese food, Little Caesars pizza, the lowest price foods. And a lot of these folks, they get used to eating it. So as a result, I probably see more fast food American restaurants in Guatemala City than I do in large cities in the US because a lot of them have figured out that, hey, there's a lot of people going back to Guatemala and they're like, man, I really crave a Little Caesars pizza or a Carl's Jr. hamburger or a Burger King burger or etc. KFC, Taco Bell. So they're everywhere. So I would suggest sticking to traditional food. It's lower priced and there's lots of people making it in the streets. It's much healthier and you'll get a taste of what the typical Guatemalan people eat. This is the Templo de la Merced here in Antigua, Guatemala. Este es el Templo de Merced aquí en Antigua, Guatemala. There's an indigenous dress there. You see the girl? Es como se dice en la gente indígena. ¿Eh? Bonito. He's got some cool necklaces. Muy bonito, gracias. This is Nem Pot, Centro de Textiles Tradicionales. This is a store here in Antigua, la tienda aquí en Antigua, donde venden productos nacionales. These are hongos, mushrooms. They saw all the traditional like gifts and trinkets and stuff that the indigenous people use. And they get some toys and stuff here to use. And this is like a hacky sack. I'm gonna get some of these hacky sacks for like juggling. These will be good. Oh man, they have these traditional textiles. This is beautiful. They have a lot of cool stuff. Mira qué bonitos estos textiles hechos a mano. Muy bonito. Impresionante el trabajo que hacen. Look at, it's so impressive. All this is handmade. This is the clothes that the indigenous people here wear. This is very nice. This is a typical Sunday afternoon in a lot of Latin countries. People come to the park, Parque Central, and they just kind of hang out with their family. Take pictures, eat, feed the birds, like sell food, play toys and stuff. Like there's a big family reunion going on over here. What about 20 family members there? They're hanging out, eating. You see people just kind of, here's some guy here eating like some pizzas, Little Caesars pizza and Coke. And you got a lot of people just hanging out, couples. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of a day to just rest and chill out. And that's usually what I do. I come out and just hang out and read and just hang out like everybody else.